Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about some television.
All right. So,
you want to talk about Flash first or Westworld?
Yeah, let's get Flash out of the way first because it'll be quick. So,
you get it?
No pun intended. Or did I? Well, okay. So, episode 1 of season 3's title has been revealed, and it's Flashpoint. Big fucking surprise. I mean, I'm sure that they probably would have gone there eventually, but like, this seemed like a non-story to me when the news came out. Like, everybody was excited, and like, I'm excited that they're doing it, but like, we all knew that. If you watched the end of season 2, if you watched the last 5 minutes, you knew.
Yep.
Because Barry went back in time and he stopped his mom from dying. Where has that happened before? Flashpoint. So, of course, that's what we're getting.
Then he fucks everything up.
Yep, I was going to say. And, of course, every season, Barry fucked it up again. Barry, what'd you fuck up this time? Time itself, great.
I can't wait.
I'm excited.
Wait,
By the way, I'm not like... It's not that I'm not excited.
He's not trashing it.
Yeah.
It was just obvious, and it's finally good to hear the announcement.
Right. So, I'm super excited to see how things will change. I'm sure they'll probably, bring in, like, Oliver and Supergirl and just like as examples of...
The other guy. The Arrow one. Oh, you said Oliver, did you?
I did.
I'm sorry.
I was like, did I miss somebody?
I'm sorry. I was
going to say, Diggle? I'm sure they'll probably...
Black Nito.
Black Nito. I'm sure they'll probably bring them in as, like, examples of how things have gone wrong. So, like, it'll be interesting to see how the characters change. And I'm hoping, because I was talking with a friend the other day, I'm hoping that they bring back John Wesley Shipp as Jay Garrick.
Oh, yeah.
To help him, like, sort things out a bit. I think... I would like to see...
No, yeah,
I would like to see him in the suit, running around, doing shit. So...
What if they just repeat season 2? He has glasses, he comes back. No, I'm not the bad one. I'd be like, alright.
Let's not. But yeah, so super excited that Flashpoint is going to be the focal point of season 3. No big shock, but excited nonetheless.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Alright, so next up, I wanted to talk about HBO's new show that's debuting in the fall, I believe. It's called Westworld.
Right.
Do you know what this is about?
Yeah, I did see the trailer. It seems like it's a mashup of The Matrix and Assassin's Creed and Wild Wild West.
Okay. Well, it's based off of the 1973 movie.
Okay. Which I've never seen and didn't know was a thing.
I've seen it maybe one time. It's been getting tossed around a lot. Like, at one point, they even asked Tarantino to remake it. He passed on it. So let me read you the what Westworld is about. A robot malfunction creates havoc and terror for unsuspecting vacationers at a futuristic adult theme park.
Huh.
So...
It's a theme park.
Yep.
So it's not taking place in, like, some futuristic Wild West?
Nope.
So it's just a theme park?
Nope. And the HBO...
I wouldn't have guessed that.
The HBO series is inspired by the 1973 film of the same title, written by Michael Crichton, about a futuristic theme park.
Michael Crichton.
Shit, I'm so sorry.
I fuck that up all the time, too.
Yeah.
I felt like such a dumbass. That happened in high school. We had to do some stupid report, and the teacher's like, yeah, so who'd you pick? I was like, Michael Crichton, and she looked at me like I had 3 heads. I'm like, what? That's what it says! She's like, that's Michael Crichton. It's like, oh, you mean that really famous guy who wrote a bunch of shit.
Yeah. So, it's about a futuristic theme park populated by artificial beings. So, Ed Harris is in it.
Which is awesome.
Yep.
Ed Harris is fucking terrifying.
James Marsden. Anthony Hopkins.
Thandie Newton. Who the hell is that?
Rodrigo Santoro.
Okay, I have no idea who that is. I
thought
he looked familiar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it has a pretty decent cast.
Do you know who's behind it?
No. Tell me.
Okay. Well, J.J. Abrams is producing it.
I did hear that.
And Christopher Nolan's brother, Jonathan Nolan, is directing 2 episodes.
Okay. Is he directing the pilot?
Let me see if he is.
I'm hoping that he's directing the pilot.
If he is, that'd be... Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. So,
and he's writing it, too.
Of course he is.
Yep.
We've got everything we need for a fucking awesome hour of television.
You know,
actually, it might even be longer.
It's about 1 hour. I want to. It's 10 episodes.
mean,
they'll probably do the same formula, 10 episodes.
Yeah, but
1
usually,
hour
like
each.
the pilot, it might be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
So it's debuting in October. What I like about this show is not only the cool trailer. I like the cast. I like who's behind it, and I like that it's different. You know what I mean?
Honestly, like I said, I never would have guessed that it was a theme park.
Yeah. Like I said, I saw the movie a long time ago. Maybe not even all of it. It was a good movie from what I've seen, but it's one of those movies where audiences and filmmakers are like, we can actually
do something
with this. Yeah. It's Westworld. I'm not saying is not a classic, but it was definitely something that they didn't have the technology for back then. That now they're like, hey, we can do this. See, these are remakes that could work.
Yeah, that necessitate coming back to.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm super excited for Westworld. Maybe it'll replace Game of Thrones. Who knows? But
that's a tall order. But
what if it's better than Game of Thrones?
Dude, then that would be fucking mind blowing.
All right. So next up, what episode of Voltron are you on?
I watched episodes 4 and 5.
Me too. Okay. So we're all caught up together.
Which is surprising because we actually, not that we picked them at random, but we were like, well, we watched 3 episodes last week. How many episodes are we going to watch this week? 2 sounds good. And it worked out perfectly because it was a 2-episode story arc.
Yes.
Because episode 4 ended on a cliffhanger and episode 5 picked up right where that one left off.
Can I say something about Voltron? I love the humor in it, even though it doesn't hit all the time. I really enjoy the humor.
Yeah.
I think the action is really good.
Yeah, it is.
The animation is
it's
great.
It's fluid and static at the same time, and I love that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, not that it's choppy, but I'm saying sometimes they intentionally make the characters move as if it was only a couple frames per second, and I love when they do that and they take such an interesting style. Because that's what anime does, over in Japan. Mm-hmm. They have very quick, choppy movement to kind of accentuate the eccentricness of these characters.
Right.
So I'm glad that, they're keeping in tone with the original, anime. Not that I'm saying it's the same beat for beat, because I don't honestly remember the original that much. But I'm saying that I like that they're clearly... they're clearly taking inspiration from Japanese animation.
Yes, yeah, I can definitely, I sense that a lot, yeah. And I know I got a lot of crap for this. I'm not the biggest on anime. Voltron is good. My favorite episode so far, my favorite episode so far has been episode 2, when they were training. I thought that was really
that was
cool.
Pretty fun.
They had a Pacific Rim thing going.
Yeah. I can see that.
Which I don't know what I think, because like Xavier and I said, we've seen very little Voltron when we were younger, so I'm not sure if Pacific Rim was inspired by it. I would
say it was definitely inspired by, it was probably inspired by Voltron, Godzilla, fucking Power Rangers, a lot of that. It takes inspiration from a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to see...
What's your favorite episode? I'm sorry, what's your favorite episode, too, after your...
Oh, I was just going to say it's nice to see that, the inspiration is just as good as... Or rather, the remake of the inspiration is just as good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I would say my favorite episode so far is probably episode 3.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
I really like that one because it gave some backstory. We're still getting it now. We don't know everything that happened with Shiro, the Black Paladin, the one in the black suit, I should say, because none of them are actually black. But
are they of Asian descent? or are they white? I think they're...
I think at this point in their future, like, culture is just kind of blended and everybody's a little bit of everything.
Oh, God, that's a clan member's worst dream.
But regardless, I was going to say episode 3
Voltron is probably a horror movie today.
Episode 3 is probably my favorite because we get more backstory with him, and it shows some of the things that he's struggling with. The fact that he doesn't really know what happened to him in all those years that he was gone, and it gives a connection between him and Pidge, and the revelation that... And now we can... I mean, we did spoil it last week, I think, but...
Or 2 weeks ago or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. It was last week.
Yeah. We did kind of spoil it last week, but now we can talk openly about it, that it did kind of open up the revelation that Pidge is actually a female. And yeah. So that's what these 2 episodes were about, primarily. You know, we got pretty much all of Pidge's backstory, which was really interesting to see because, you know, I was like, okay, well, what exactly, how do you're a girl, why, what's going on? So she was trying to find out information on her father and her brother because they were taken by the Galra, I think they're called, as the evil aliens.
They took her daddy.
Yep. Who's your daddy and what does he do? Doesn't matter, we have him, we'll just ask him ourselves. But anyway, she was trying to find out information. She broke into the base. They kept kicking her out and they banned her. So she snuck in by faking and becoming a cadet.
She pulled a Mulan?
Apparently. And I guess there are no female cadets?
She pulled a Mulan.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Exactly what happened. But, like, I mean, maybe we'll get an answer on that, but there are no female cadets?
There's 10 episodes, right? 10 or 13?
I think it's 10.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But, so, she cut her hair. She's pretending to be a boy so that she can get more information. So, she actually intended to leave the team. And then some shit happened because two flunkies, essentially, came down and they bombed the castle, which was actually not like scary or anything, but it was just like, holy shit, like,
these bad guys ain't fucking around.
Not at all. They were just
basically.
Like, no, we're going in there, we're bombing this shit, we're taking down as many people as we can. And that didn't really work out too well for them. Granted, the bomb went off and fucked up the castle, but it was kind of a bottle episode because you know, it was centered around Pidge, and it was jumping back and forth between her backstory and what was going on. She gained more confidence. And actually, I looked into it because her voice started to sound familiar now that we spent more time with her. The actress who does the voice of Pidge is Sin from Arrow.
Oh, yeah. I can see it.
Yep. I didn't know that because she actually did sound like a dude for a while.
Yeah.
So, I thought that these were pretty good episodes, you know, and there was actually a pretty good moment for Hunk as well, the yellow one.
That's my favorite character.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't stand him up until episode 5.
Because he's fat.
Yeah. I was gonna say I kind of feel like what's his name, Sam's dad from Game of Thrones. You're fat. No, but like he had some really good character development. This episode 5, you know, he was off on his own separate mission away from the castle when it got bombed, and he came across another race of aliens that were they were basically slaves. They were forced to work in this mine. They've never even seen the sky. Like that was pretty nuts. So, you know, one of the slaves did help him. He got the crystal on his way back to bring it back to the castle, and she didn't make it. She was attacked, and he says he's going to come back for her. So it'll be interesting to see how his character develops now, gaining some bravery.
Right. I just like it. I know that sounds pretty straightforward, but I like the show. I like the characters. I like that it's a cartoon show that gives pretty good character moments. I don't find anybody annoying, really. I know who you find annoying. Go ahead, say it. I know who you find annoying.
Koran?
Yep.
I hate Koran. He's so annoying.
You didn't like when he did the badass thing when they were gonna hit him, and he just like completely.
Yeah, okay, that was kind of cool. Like everybody has their moment to shine, so like that's cool and all, but like he's just comic relief.
Yeah, he is. I agree.
He hasn't had like a real moment that like makes me see him as anything other than, oh, you're just here for levity.
Right.
So, right. I mean, yeah, he had kind of a badass moment, but he still doesn't, ring too well with me yet.
Okay. All right, so we'll watch 6 and 7 and talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Very quickly, moving on to Preacher. What episode are we on? 4?
Yep, episode 4. I want to know what you think of this episode.
I think that... Okay, it's the weakest episode.
Okay,
I think
agree.
so. I like what they're doing with Jackie Earl Haley. Yeah, Jackie Earl Haley's character.
Okay.
Otherwise, it was okay. I would give it maybe a 7.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
This episode sucked to you?
Yep.
Oh, damn.
This episode was completely unnecessary.
Nothing happened.
At all.
Yeah.
Dude, I was falling asleep watching it at like 2 in the afternoon. I wasn't even tired. This episode just put me to fucking sleep.
I didn't like this episode that much.
I don't know what the hell happened. I was like so on board. Not to say that I'm done with the show, because I'm gonna continue watching it. But
so far it's been they've hit the ball 3 out of 4 times. So
right.
You're gonna have that episode here and there, but
right. But for it to come off of a strong introductory 3 episodes and then go immediately into a pointless filler episode just really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, honestly, nothing. The episode, what was it called? Monster people, whatever,
Swamp people or something.
Something like that. Yeah, nothing. I mean, besides the funny moment when Tulip beat the shit out of Cassidy and he fell out the window.
Yeah,
that was pretty damn funny. But otherwise,
really nothing. They didn't have
Jesse was not in it.
Barely. He was in like maybe 2 scenes.
Jesse was not in the damn episode. I did like look. Despite it being a very mediocre episode, I did like the end.
When he turned Jackie Earl Haley?
Yeah, okay. I did like that.
I did actually wake up for that part.
Yeah, that's good. No, you woke up at a good part.
I was going to say, I fell asleep right around... Like, honestly, the last thing I kind of remember is the angels, like, he was like, don't pick up that phone, and then it was just the regular phone. And
then, it ended with the phone ringing, right?
Yeah, like the heaven phone ringing or whatever.
Yeah, maybe it was just nothing happened, but I'm pretty sure the next episode, the trailer for the next episode was actually pretty goddamn good.
I don't watch the trailers for the next episodes.
I actually, because I have AMC on my iPad, so for some reason I hit the wrong video and it showed some of the trailer, but I can see that a lot more was happening in...
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I've been not rereading Preacher. Like, I want to kind of reread it because honestly I feel like I'm missing something here, with this show. But we kind of got a little bit more backstory on Jesse this week as a kid.
Yeah, his father was a preacher too, right?
Right.
Yeah. Was that?
I don't know if I'm remembering correctly, but I don't think his dad was. He might have been like a holy man a bit, like. He believed in the word of God, but like not a This show, I feel like they looked at the comic, saw that it was called Preacher, and was like, oh, this is clearly about a man of God who's trying to do right by the church, but also has a past. And yeah, kinda, but in the comics, there is not a whole lot of preaching going on. Not a whole lot of preaching, not a whole lot of church stuff. And I don't know what the hell is going on. They're spending way too much time here at the church. Like, Jesse in the comics, and I know I say this every fucking week, but it's just like, in the comics, like they're traveling. They're on the road all the time. They never have a moment to stop. They barely get any downtime. It's just constantly moving. They have to stay on the run. And I'm waiting for the show to realize, hey, this is what made the comic interesting, because they were on the run and they were just, they just found themselves in these crazy situations. And yeah, there's some crazy situations happening on the show, but it's, I don't know. This episode kind of was the chink in the armor that I was like, not that they don't know what they're doing, but it's just like, come on, guys, let's get with it.
I thought it was very meh too.
I would give this episode like a 5.
Yeah, I give it a 7. I'd give it a 7. Okay, so let's very quickly give our thoughts on Game of Thrones episode 9, Battle of the Bastards. All I have to say is finally. Spoilers, but
finally, spoilers. Yeah. There's gonna be things. Oh my god. This episode
Ramsay
was
Bolton
so good.
Finally fucking died.
Finally, and it wasn't bad enough. I think he deserved worse. I mean, granted,
he did get eaten alive.
He did.
Tied up.
But like, I think I mean, after all the things that he's put so many people through, I feel like we could have tortured him a little bit.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
it was a very, very good episode.
It was. I would say probably. Okay, this may be a bit divisive, but I feel like this is probably the best episode of like all time.
Of all time?
Probably
I put it in my top 5.
I think this is the best episode.
I'd put it in my top 5. Still, my favorite episode is when Jon Snow woke up.
Really? That's your favorite episode?
That was awesome. The whole thing, just everything about it.
Okay, I mean, to each his own. I'm not saying that like I need action, but like this
it sounds
episode,
like you do.
This episode had a lot going for it, and not just the action scene. Like, I mean, granted, I've always loved everything about filmmaking, so like I love it from a filmmaking perspective, like the angles, the shots, the cinematography was fucking masterful, but there was a lot of emotion in this episode. Cause I'd sit in my room and watch this stuff. I'm sitting on my bed. I was like on the edge of my bed watching this like face like 2 inches from the screen, like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And then there were points where I felt really uncomfortable and like claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this episode, like at least the battle in this episode, was comparable to the opening scene in Saving Private Ryan.
Really?
Yeah.
It felt very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Which I liked.
It made me really uncomfortable, even though I was sitting here watching it alone in my room. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the words to put together here. It really knew how to... It put me on an emotional roller coaster watching this episode.
The best part is when the writers of Rohan came.
Yeah, the fucking... that was a good reference.
I'm sorry. I
can't remember their names, but the...
That wasn't that wasn't Blackfish, right? No.
No.
Okay.
It was Littlefinger and
oh yeah,
and
yeah. He was just sitting there.
I can't remember the army's name, but yeah, it was Littlefinger. And I guess, what the hell, Sansa? Sansa kind of almost fucked everything up just now. I just thought about it. 'Cause like, why didn't she tell Jon? Why didn't she tell Jon that she had a whole fucking army coming?
She didn't?
No, she never told him.
Because
because remember they're talking battle strategy, and then everybody else leaves, and it's just Jon and Sansa, she's like, just be patient. He's like, no, we gotta go now. Why didn't she just say, fuckface, I got a whole army coming?
That's true. That is true, but I do like the way she was thinking, because she was like, this guy doesn't fuck around.
What, Jon? Or
no, Ramsay.
At
least she was not, when she was explaining to him,
she had
don't understand this guy.
Yeah, she had a good point.
I did like that.
She had a good point with that.
Sansa got really fucking smart.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sansa's finally playing the game.
The Game of Thrones.
Yeah, So she's finally like a key player too now
in the Game of Thrones. But sorry, I had to do that.
No,
but
don't worry about it.
Sorry, not to get off track, but there was I never forget, I was in class one day and I was talking to some kid about Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
He told me the TV, because he reads the books, he's one of those book people.
Mm-hmm.
He said the TV version has no good female characters. Bull fucking shit.
Arya, Sansa, Daenerys, Yara.
Yeah, I'm like, bullshit. That's all I have to say about that, but carry on.
No, I was gonna say, like, this was I feel like it was. It's my favorite episode. I might retract my statement of saying it's the best episode of all time. It's my personal favorite episode.
Well, look, maybe there was a specific reason why this episode got to me. When Jon Snow was suffocating under those people, that made me really uncomfortable. Like, I
thought he was gonna die again.
No, if they did that, I'd stop watching. But
he did tell Melisandre, he's like, look, if I die out there, don't bring me back.
And then
don't. She's like, but I gotta try. It's like, no.
It was like she was gonna bring him back, and she was like, "Fuck you, you're not my boss.
You're not my dad."
Yeah, just like that. So when he was suffocating, it really reminded me of the scene from 12 Years a Slave, where the main character was hanging on a tree by his toes. And
that shit was hard to watch. Like, I was sitting there, like, not watching through my hands, but like I had like my hands on my face. I was just like, no, fuck no, please don't.
And there's just people. It just happens every day, like not joking around either. Like, yeah, it happens every day. Yeah, there's a guy just hanging from the tree. It's like, what? Like, that really made me sick. Like, they're just like, okay, like, but anyways, yeah, that scene and the Jon Snow scene really make me uncomfortable. If that, like, not to sound like a pussy or anything, but that it just.
Yeah, I understand.
Because they're gasping for air.
Yeah.
But yeah, a character I really like, just there, just you know. So it's scary.
Like, it really.
What would you give this episode? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't do this ever.
Okay.
I don't do this ever.
A 9.9.
No, I'm serious. Like, I firmly believe that there's no such thing as perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are movies that come really close. There are TV shows and episodes that come really close. This is as close as perfect as it gets to me. This is a 9.5 for me.
9.5.
It's a 9.5 because there are.
I will break you.
there are a few things that kind of poke some little holes.
Like the one you
it.
mentioned with the army. Why don't you just say that?
Yeah, there's that. There's also the Greyjoys. How the fuck did they get to Marine so fast? In like in the span of like 2-3 days, they go all the way from Westeros to Marine. How the fuck?
Well, their uncle was chasing them.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good motivation because it's like, let's go. It's like, let's go murder my fucking my niece and nephew. Let's do that.
I just imagine the mother row. Just
they're like, we need to fucking get out of Dodge.
I did like the uncle though when he came back. Let's fucking kill my niece and nephew. That made me laugh. Not that I was laughing at the performance. I just thought that was funny. The first thing that came out of his evil mouth.
Because they're essentially Vikings.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're just like, we rape, we murder, we pillage. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And that they actually did bring that up when they were making the pact with Daenerys, and she was like, "Yeah, you guys can't do that shit anymore." And Yara's just like, "But that's our way of life." And she's like, "Well, if you're gonna be partners with me, it's not anymore." And she's just like, "All right, I guess, but like, can we fuck though?" Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna fuck?
I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I do want to give props to, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, then we're going to move on to our film reviews. Okay. I got to give props to the beginning scene. That's not getting a lot of love, and it's kind of pissing me off. The dragon scene.
Right.
I thought that whole scene was great.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I like that. I just like, you ever going to make negotiations? It's like, all right, fuck off. Gets on her dragon.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, so we're here to negotiate. She's like, no, we're not negotiating our surrender. You thought this was us? No. You're surrendering.
Mm-hmm.
And then just Drogon just Yeah, bitch, you're surrendering.
I did like that whole thing. They also had a Riders of Rohan moment there.
Yeah, they did with the Dothraki army. That's like that was really funny. Also, what the hell was going on? They're just like random Sons of the Harpy, just like killing people outside the walls of Marine. They're just like, yeah, we're just here to kill people.
Are you gonna give it an 8 now, Xavier?
No, this is what brings it down to a 9.5 for me.
I give it a 9.5 because I couldn't breathe for like 5 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. I thought it was a great episode.
Last thing I want to say about this, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
Sad loss this week. Rest in peace, 1-1 the Giant. I think he was the last Giant. And Ramsey was just like, nah, fuck this, right in the eye. Rest in peace, 1-1. He was a fucking badass till the end.